Thank you, friends. My age, it takes me a little longer to get settled here. Let's get this thing here going. So I searched the web. For recent examples of the use of the word septuagenarian. Do a Google search of that and just say the word septuagenarian. And this came up. This was from Variety. May 22nd. All the same, there was something undeniably poignant about the sight of Hooter, now 77, cutting a dignified figure in his spandex suit, his rare, unprocessed vocals now sounding very much like the voice of a septuagenarian. That was one quote. The other quote from ABC News, 21st of May, Michael Lee Evans, the Texas septuagenarian, was arrested in December 2023 after 7 rounds of 9mm ammunition found in his luggage, police said. Well, there's got to be something here that's inspirational. And then Helen Osner, the New Yorker, 23rd of April, 2020. Minter, an auburn-haired septuagenarian wearing Converse sneakers, clutched her camera and leaned forward in a rolling office chair. And none of this means anything. So I gave up on that. And I got this card. This is my birthday today, by the way. It was nothing. I've always thought that the mothers should be celebrated today because they had to go through labor and all that stuff. Yep. Yesterday and today. Being one day older only matters if you're a banana.
Oh boy.
So I'm just going to reflect a little bit on what it's like turning yet another year. Like you said, Anne, I'm 73 today. That was the age that Ernest Holmes, thank you. I was going to say Heidi. Ernest Holmes passed away. So I once spoke here, I think the first time, and we talked about the World Happiness Report. And the World Happiness Report this year said 3 things make you happy. Number 1 is family. Number 2 is nature. And number 3 is community. So these kind of themes will be touched upon in my little talk here today, and I hope a lot of it you know already. But I was thinking I wrote down 5 things to be grateful for, even when the world, Joe, is falling apart, as you said. With so much going wrong in the world, it's more important than ever to stay grounded in gratitude. Family and friends. Friends would be what? Community. Family is always at the top of my list, although the holidays can be difficult for those like me who have lost loved ones or are estranged from them. I try not to dwell on the loss and focus on the here and now and all the good memories. Be grateful for those who are around you, even if they are the family you have chosen for yourself. Community. You know, this comment that I wrote, estranged from them, if you're estranged from them. I had a very good friend, Lalo is my partner for 37 years. He knew me when I had hair. Estranged. I had a friend, a dear friend, who actually moved to Palm Springs and was my neighbor. I put down the money for his house. His name was Jim Lawson, and he was the most witty person I knew. And when I moved up here, and I would visit him from my Palm Springs office on the way home about 3 times a week, I showed up one day and the whole house was empty. He was gone. I checked the hospitals, I did this and that, and no sign of him. I couldn't understand what happened to him. And I finally met a person that helped him move. He moved to his family in Fresno. And I just thought, why wouldn't he say goodbye? What's going on? And all this. And my sister came up and she said, Steve, have you ever thought maybe he didn't want to talk to you? It kind of threw water on my face. And this notion of forgiveness and fellowship is the goal. After that, I thought, I forgive him. I forgive him. I have no idea what went through his mind and all of this, but it was probably loneliness, and we'll talk about that also coming up. So family and friends is the first of 5 things to be grateful for, even when the world is falling apart. Number 2, from laughter to animals, Denise, to the beauty of nature, the gift of being alive is something for which we should all be grateful, right? Oh, yeah. I truly believe that love for people or for pets is one of the keys to making people more successful, happy, and fulfilled. My friend Jim didn't own a dog. He never had a pet. And when Lalo and I moved up here, he was alone. Just recently retired. We'll talk about that also. But love is one of the keys. Whatever family you have now, share with whatever family you have now how much they mean to you, and enjoy any time you can spend with them in person or virtually. Again, make a family if you don't have one. Number 3, for happiness. I put down courageous. I'm always and forever grateful to those who show courage to do, say, and defend what is right and what is good, especially in the face of evil. So, courageous. You may not, you remember Mad Magazine? Alfred E. Newman? Remember what it always said? What, me worry? Remember that?
Yeah.
You remember that. What, me worry? And my neighbor is radically different than I am. She's passionate about politics. And I'm a politico as well. I mean, I have my politics. She has hers. As a businessman, they're different than hers. But ultimately, who cares? Now, that's just me at 73. Paul, you said when I was so much younger then, no, I was so much older then, I'm younger than that now. What does that mean to you?
That you were older before and then you're slowly getting younger.
Yeah. But it also means that you don't care. You'll hear somebody, and the problem is I mean, it's important to care, don't get me wrong, but you don't have to verbalize it. You know, when she was rattling on the other day, and I thought, you're going to forever be sad because most people aren't like you. But I didn't say that. I said, I don't care any longer. It's subjective. Well, we're in travel business, Lalo and I, and some people will rave about Mexico City. Other people will not like it. We just came back from Mexico City, and I would rate it a 5 out of 10. Who cares? What's your favorite color? Who cares? In fact, when Facebook came out, 25 years ago or something, Facebook, everybody said, oh, you got to do it, you got to do it. So I started looking at the question, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite this? I thought, who the hell cares? But that's just me at my age now. Number 4 about what I'm gratitude, being an American. And again, we're in the travel business. It's an incredible privilege to be an American, having gone around the world like we have, and everywhere from communist countries. I remember the first time I set foot in a communist country. It was with my kids. Well, actually, it was even before then, but who cares? It was East Germany. And it opened your eyes to what we have here in America, capitalism versus communism. And having gone to China and all these other places where Yemen, can you imagine going to Yemen now? Travel makes one realize how fortunate it is to be in America. Number 5, the entrepreneurs and innovators. I thought of this because I was using the microwave the other day and I thought, gosh, that's probably the most used appliance we have in the kitchen. And it's easy to it's easy to focus on small inconveniences during our day-to-day routines without thinking about the absolute wonder with which we live. We can start the day in one city and at the end of the day travel through the skies to be on the other end of the continent. You've got all the internet and all of these marvelous innovations that have taken place. So that's something to be grateful for. And just a final thought. Be thankful. Now this is weird. Be thankful for problems. There are good reasons you should be thankful for problems. Now how can that be, right? Avoiding them is the goal. Problems are a curse. But what if they are blessings in disguise? I was listening the other day to Dr. Charles Stanley. He's just passed away. Great pastor. And he was going over Psalm 23. Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restores the soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness in the name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of the death, I will fear no evil, for though thou art with me, thy rod, thy staff comfort me. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So there's a spiritual aspect to this, if you only believe. We are all going to face valleys at times. We all have, right? Some of them, these are the highs and lows in life. Everybody has them. No one is immune. The lows, many of them are self-inflicted. Maybe we spend too much money and all of a sudden we wake up and we're broke on that. Oh my God, how am I going to get out of this? But others are orchestrated by God to teach, to have us emerge stronger. And this is my belief, anyway. So this valley of the shadow of the death. But if you have faith, you will emerge from that. So one of these, this whole idea of being grateful for problems, if you look at it that way, you might get something out of it. The Wall Street Journal just recently had an article called "When Will I Retire? How About Never?" For many people, the idea of stopping work is a non-starter, inevitable path to boredom, ill health, and a life devoid of meaning. This article posted, they did a survey, and their studies, and it just floored me. You should not retire, the article said, at 65, because people who are 65, who retire 65 and younger, almost 80% of them die within 5 years. Why? Alcoholism, drugs, boredom. They don't have a pet or anybody they're lonely, a lot of these people. They come home to the ticking of the clock, and again, I look back at my friend Jim, who retired and just took off, and guess what? Within 5 years, he was gone. It was an interesting thing to wake up to. Again, this all had to do with my birthday. As I get older, things that we learn. So the Generation Z, you know what that is? Somebody born in this century. They did one of these guys was on the Facebook or whatever, social media, and he had 350 followers, and he asked elders for their greatest life advice. And one 95-year-old woman revealed her biggest secret to staying happy and healthy, advising younger generations to not worry about tomorrow. She said, being up always, not being negative, she explained in a TikTok video. I'm a positive person. I don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow's a promissory note, right? Yesterday is a canceled check. The only thing that's important is now. Dr. Luke Gerhardt, a mentor of ours, used to say, carpe diem, seize the day. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. Like that study. Others in his quest to find happiness or advice. And he found out that most influential driver of Gen Z's happiness is their sense of purpose, an identity crisis that older generations are trying to help stop through their words of wisdom. Quote, when you're younger, you think your career is really important, and it is important, one 80-year-old man explained. It was only important for what it got me or what it got us. Life is what is really important. Your family and friends. You know, these cliches are there for a reason. Live, love, and eat Fritos. Laugh. Afresh every day. Do not take things for granted. Almost done, folks. Let's see have fun, enjoy yourself, enjoy the years, because eventually they'll go by. When you're young, you never think you're going to be old, but it happens somehow, some way, one 93-year-old said. Do one of you watch Sunday Morning, the TV show? Did you see it today? They had 92-year-old Rita Moreno on. And she was just a positive spirit. Very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Vivacious, but admirable. And here's, you know.
Been through
it. I'm going to say something brilliant here. This thing about 65-year-olds is quite, I don't know, maybe I left it somewhere. Anyway, the thing about 65-year-olds is something else. If you think about it, there's about, believe it or not, 9 billion people in the world. Then if you average that out to 100 people, that means only 6 out of every 100 live to be over, in the world, not America. Only 6 out of every 100 live to be 65 years old. So if you're over that, count your blessings. Again, back to the fact that we're in America, right? Because Lalo and I have been to some of the biggest dungholes in the world. India, all these places, beautiful people, and charming, Africa and all this, but they don't live very long. So this is something that, finally, the fear of missing out. Find the joy in saying no. That takes courage sometimes, which is number 3 on my list. Learn how to say no. Research shows that higher levels of FOMO, the fear of missing out, are associated with lower esteem, lower life satisfaction, and more loneliness. For better mental health, try reframing those feelings of FOMO and instead try finding JOMO, the joy of missing out. Right? You know, that means when I read, oh, somebody's going to be performing in LA at a concert. You know, haven't you seen Taylor Swift or something like this? No, I don't want to drive to LA for anybody anymore. No more discotheques, no more clubbing.
Hey, you drove us to LA.
Well, you're driving me nuts. The joy of, so no more discos, clubs, etc. In fact, on our last trip to Mexico City, I said to Lalo, I'm ready to retire my passport. We love Yucca Valley. U.S. News World Reports. Yucca Valley is in one of the top 10 places to retire, folks. Yeah, why do you think that is?
The people.
People, but nature also, far from the madding crowd. Would I want to be here when I was in my 20s or 30s?
Yes.
No.
No.
This is as quiet as a morgue up here on the weekend. But now that's exactly what we embrace. We embrace the nature. My gosh, we sit outside and have a glass of wine at night, and every animal comes up, and it's like a Disney movie or something. By the way, the article states that the reason this is in the top 10 places to retire is because of relative lack of crime. Also, the cleanest air in California. Yeah, affordability, and the amenities. So many of these doctors up here have offices in the Coachella Valley in Palm Springs. Gratitude determines your altitude.
Would you hold that up one more time, please?
My arm?
No.
This?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
I haven't heard that phrase in a long time. All right, finally, I was going to just leave you with a couple funny quotes here. One thing I have learned when I've gotten old is I can't get organized here. These are my notes. Okay. What the heck happened here?
Where's the
Oh,
angel?
here we go. My tours are much better than this performance. There's something, I don't know if you've ever heard of this. It is called anasia. And this is the fear that you're losing, that you're losing your mind. Let's see here. Here we go. If you're already over 65, be content, grateful, thank God, cherish life, and grasp every moment, right? So, if you think you are suffering memory loss, it's called anasia. It gets interesting here. This happens to people 60 years and older, and they complain they are losing their memory. But the bottom line is you're not. The Professor Bruno Dubois, director of Institute of Memory and Alzheimer's, says it this way: if anyone is aware of their memory problem, they do not have Alzheimer's. You know you forget the names of families. You know you don't remember where you put some things, but you remember you had them.
Yeah.
Right? This often happens in people 60 years and older, and they complain they're losing their lack of memory. All right, I think that's it. We've already said it's more important to have a twinkle in your winkle, and a twinkle in your wrinkle. At my age, flowers scare me, George Burns. George Carlin said, I was thinking about how people seem to read the Bible a lot more when they get older. And then it dawned on me, they're cramming for their final exam. Will Rogers said, the older we get, the fewer things seem worth waiting in line for.
Yes.
We walked out of, what's the new one, the Bear restaurant or something? People, I don't want to wait. And they said, there'll be a 40-minute wait. And I said, adios. I just, but then that's age.
Sit at the counter.
Robert Murdoch, 93, he was, did you read about this? 93, Robert Murdoch just recently married his fifth bride, a 67-year-old gal, younger than I. Can you imagine that wedding night?
Count the money.
I'm reminded I shouldn't say this. I'm reminded of what Tallulah Bank had said when she was 77. They asked, "Do you still have a sex life?" And she said, "Hell no, it either throws out my back or it gives me lockjaw." Thank you.
Thank you for those spiritual and
Spiritual.
Thank you so much.